at what we call the style sheet. So we go back up here and click on new, and you can see we've got a CSS page there. So we're just going to create that, and it looks like this. Okay. Now I'm just going to sort of grab some text from previous ones. You can see hopefully on there that we've got these names of the areas we've just created. One's called body, that's the background. Header, what we've talked about, the main, and the footer. So just for speed, I'm just going to grab these. These are ones I've done previously, and I'm just going to copy these into the work, so then the video is shorter. You'll have to type them out. It's dead easy to type them out though. You just start typing. You need to be aware that you've got these sort of curly brackets. And again, when we sort of start typing, you'll see that it comes up and it'll just basically, you can see if I sort of, it gives me the options. I can just click background colors and then it gives me the options there. I think the other one there was grey. It doesn't matter what color it is at the moment. I'm just doing that just to show you that they're there. Okay, so I'm just going to pick grey there. That's fine. You also need a little kind of semicolon at the end. If you don't click on that, you'll get sometimes it won't pick it up. It's not flagged it, but sometimes it won't. The header area is going to be white. I've made this 80% of the width of the page, and I've set a height of 200 pixels as well. And I've also put sort of margins around. I'll come back to that, and I've made this margin solid and black. And I've also put some I put sort of a little bit of, I put some borders around, but I've also put some margins, one at the top and one at the bottom of there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to save that. So this is called a CSS page. You can see this is my home page already saved. So I'm just going to call, I'm going to call it style sheet. And I'm just going to save that. So it's called style sheet, and you can see it's there. Now what I need to do is I need to go back to my home page, and what I need to do is I'm going to attach my style sheet to my home page. So go to the file menu, and you can see it says attach style sheet, and you browse and you find the style sheet that you've just made. You click OK, click OK again, and you see it sort of appears in this link up here, okay, in the header. Okay, so now what I've done is I've just basically styled these areas. Okay, so this style sheet is linked. It's going to give style to these areas. So watch what happens when I show you. You always have to keep pressing save. But now you can see this is my grey background, which was this bit here. If I go back to here, put my grey background. My header was white, and it was also the height of 200 pixels and 80% in width. Well, what 80% means is 80% of this whole width of the page. So I've got 10% to the left, 10% to the right. It's got a white background, and also it's got a kind of margin at the top. The margin is just this bit, just at the top. If I took that off, this white header would start right at the top of the page. I've also put another 20 pixels underneath. This is this margin bottom here, and I've also given it a border color of solid and black. Hopefully you understand that. Then I've got my main area, which is this one here. It's red at the moment, and again it's 80%. Okay, and it's 200 pixels high, and again it's got a margin at the bottom, this margin here. And then finally this is my footer, which you can see there is light blue. And again, I've put, it said margin, you need to put this in margin 0 auto, and then the width, that just basically spaces the footer, the 80%, it'll put 10% there and 10% to the left and to the right. Okay, so hopefully you can see that on the style sheet. If I change the header to a different color, okay, so I change that to blue. Let's say I want to do cadet blue. I can do that in there, and then I have to save again. So if I say save all, and I go back to it, you'll see that has changed from the white to that cadet blue. Okay, so anything you do in this style sheet will change it. So if I want to change the height of that header, if I wanted to change it to 100 pixels, and I wanted to change the width to 60%, so it's only 60% across the page. Okay, I can do that. I go back to there and I press save all, and you'll see that will have changed. So you can see it's 100 pixels high, and now it's only 60% of the width. It's got 20% to the left of it and 20% to the right of it, and it's set that in the middle. Hopefully that makes sense. So what we've done now is we've created these styles, okay, which we can then manipulate, and then when it'll change things on the home page or anything within these tags. The other thing that we can do to sort of see this style sheet and all these styles quickly is we don't have to keep sort of going backwards and forwards. But what we can do is we can right click and we go to quick edit, and you'll see all the styles appear, okay, which is really nice. So if I wanted to take the border off, for example, I can just delete the border of the header. I can close that little tab, I can press save all and go and check what it looks like, and you can see that the borders have gone and it's not solid anymore. So anything I do in this sort of quick edit via the style sheet, I want to put them back on, which I'm going to do now. I'm just going to add them to it again. Okay, just to show where we're back to where we start. You can see that there, and again, if I just press save all, you'll see that you can see there the borders have come back around. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sort of change that there. I'm going to put that back to 80%, and I'm also going to put that back to 200, so it's back to where we started. Okay, again, this is you just getting used to using Dreamweaver and doing a bit of programming. So there we go. You should have something like that. I might change that back to white as well, and then we're all on the same page. So I'd call that Cadet Blue, but I'm just showing you basically how these things work. Okay, so once we've got that, we can then move on to the next stage. There we go, it's all gone back to where we were to start with.